Thanks, guys, for joining today's match day -1 media availability ahead of Nashville season match versus Atlanta United FC Saturday. Coach, final match for the team until about mid-September, final regular season match anyways due to the FIFA break. If you could just start talking about the approach heading into the break and then what you expect to see from Atlanta on Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, our focus is 100% on Atlanta. We know that it's a good team with some really great attacking talent, a team that's organized with and without the ball. So, it's been a week of preparing for them. We're excited to be back in front of the fans in Chiotis for the second weekend in a row. It's been a place that we've been able to get a real big boost from the fans. We've been able to put good performances and get good results at home, and our expectations and our standards are the exact same, and we expect to be able to go out and execute Saturday night.
Thanks, Coach. Start with Bob.
Let's see another those blowouts this week.
Huh?
Would you like to see another blowout this week?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're about scoring goals. So, yeah, everything that we do is we want to try to score as many goals as we can. That's the name of the game. But at the same time, we follow the way we want to, prepare for each opponent. We have a lot of respect for Atlanta. We know the attacking talent that they have. They're going to be in every single game. And it's going to be our job to make sure that we try to neutralize that and create some goal-scoring chances.
What did you learn from that game?
I mean, for us, we were really happy with sort of the mentality after you get 1 to get 2, and I think from 2 to 3 was like 2 minutes. So, yeah, we want to be aggressive. We want to be a team that's able to, like you said, score goals. The other thing that we learned about is not only having that mentality, but being able to score goals in different ways. And that was a big thing that we took away. Whether it's in transition, whether it's through attacking set pieces, whether it's through build-up, we know every phase of the game might not be perfect every night, but if we're good enough in a couple, that we still think we can score enough goals to win.
Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, BJ, just at this point of the season, kind of looking at the kind of big picture of how the team is performing, what are some areas that you're really happy with, and what are kind of some areas that you're focusing on trying to improve in the last 6 games?
Yeah, I mean, I think our offensive output has been good. We haven't shied away the idea that we want to score 50 goals from day one. I think we've said that, and we've I think gone out and done a pretty good job of making that be a real possibility and happen. I think defensively we've had some really good defensive games. We've had some games that we haven't been great defensively, but collectively I think we're becoming better. We're becoming more stable. We're becoming clear on who we are, and then I would say, building on the positive of the defense is like we're still a team that's hard to score against. So even though maybe in the middle of the field we can be a little bit better through that, I think we've done a good job of being difficult to finally get a goal against us. At least you have to earn it, most of them. And so proud of the group for that. And it's kind of like what we say, like regardless, we want to be tough to play against. And I think that's the big takeaway that we've had so far this season. I think it's that we are.
How important is it to still have kind of position battles and fighting for spots? I think a lot of times we probably see teams kind of get settled at this point in the season, but you have like Gaston and Patrick and Eddie all fighting for spots, Tyler coming back, and now everybody fighting for the wings, even like center backs fighting for spots. How important is that competition at this point?
I think it's paramount if you want to be a top-level team. We don't want any comfort to come into this in group. That's not what we're about. We're about competing in a healthy way, and I think we do have competition at a lot of spots. My job continues to get harder and harder, I feel, each week in that aspect, and that's a credit to the players. That's a credit to the players, the way they come in and work and compete every single day, but also the same way, the way they support each other, and that's a really, I think, healthy environment, and something that we continue to build here.
PJ, going back to Atlanta, it's the closest geographically, at least, to Nashville MLS team. There's been this huge shout sort of for a rivalry between the two teams, but over the years there hasn't really been a true rivalry feeling to these games often. What are your thoughts on that, and is that something, it's more of a fandom thing, but do you, from on the pitch or on the sideline, kind of care about that, or does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I think I do believe that it's important to the club. I believe it's important to the fans. And so for us, we know that games against Atlanta always have a little extra, energy to them. And I know that it's very difficult to play when you go down to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and we now know that when you come to Geodis, it's going to be really difficult to play, and that's credit to the fans. And so for us, like I said, we have a healthy respect for Atlanta to begin with, but we also know there's a little, whether you want to call it rivalry or just because of the geographic location. Yeah, I think it's healthy for our sport, right? You want to have that, and we know that it'll be a really competitive match Saturday.
And then going to from last season, how, maybe, there were a lot of setbacks for Nashville SC specifically, and even when you came in, you guys weren't able to make the playoffs, to where you are right now, and there's clear improvements on everything you've done and the players have done. Have you personally or the team as a whole taken a moment to look at that progress and maybe, be not satisfied, but happy with the progress you've made so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think each week we kind of make sure that we look back to look forward in what we're doing well and things that we need to improve upon. And yeah, I think for me, there's certainly, credit to the players. There's certainly a lot more things that we're looking back at, and it's positive. And we're trying to build as much as we can in those positives. But at the same time, this group itself is built to not be complacent. They're hungry. The locker room's hungry. They want more. They expect more out of each other. And so for us, like I said from the beginning, like this is chapter 6 of Nashville SC's history. And we're going to try to write the best chapter 6 that we can control. And where that lands, it lands. But I know that the team is, really motivated and hungry and have been doing a great job pushing it as far as they can.
BJ, it seems like Atlanta, at least I believe that it's one of those teams this season in the MLS that their record doesn't show what they're capable of for sure. What makes them particularly dangerous for Nashville this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, for me, we don't necessarily reflect on a team's record. We analyze it through their structure, the way they play, and their individual talent. And when you look at that, I would just, starting with that front four, it's a really dangerous group of guys that can beat you in many different ways, right? So whether it's, guys' ability to go one-on-one and cut inside, whether it's Moranchuk being able to shoot from distance or play make, whether it's a fullback attacking and able to, get a high volume of crosses to, part of the season was Latela. Now you have Tiari. There's dangerous weapons, and they can score at any single time. And so for us, it's making sure that we're really organized defensively to make sure that gives us opportunities to win the ball, and then can we use the ball effectively to create goal scoring chances.
Now, when you look at obviously Nashville chances of making the playoffs are big because of the position you're playing and everything. But for the rest of the stuff that is in play right now, what needs to happen for Nashville to actually, run particularly well to get the Supporters' Shield or even finish first on the East Conference?
Yeah, I mean, from day one, we know we have to earn our way into the playoffs. It's kind of like 2 seasons, and the first season is earn your way into the playoffs and try to get the best seed that you can earn for that. And that's what we're focused on, and how that is play the next game, prepare to win the next game. If you win games, you control as much as you can control your final destination, and that's what we're focused on, is putting in really good performances, going through each week, putting our work in with the end result of having an expectation that we want to win the game.
We'll go to Jacob on the Zoom.
Yeah, BJ, last week, Sam Sturridge took the lead in the Golden Boot race back with his pair of goals. Hani Mukhtar won the Golden Boot in 2022. I guess, what would a second Golden Boot winner in 4 years mean for Nashville SC as a club?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great achievement for the club, all of us can be proud of, when you have players that are able to excel. And it's an achievement where I think we know that the game's a team game. And so everyone can, I guess, take a piece of that and know that we all played a part in it. And when, for most part, when you have guys scoring goals, your team is doing well. And for us, that's what we hope that continues and continues to propel us over, this Saturday and moving forward.
And with this being your last game before, 2 weeks off before FC Cincinnati, is this a chance to maybe, I don't know if go all out is the right word, but is this a chance to maybe, do some things you wouldn't do if you have, a tougher, more congested schedule coming up in terms of, maybe substitutions, playing style, or lineup choices, or anything like that?
No, we're going to do exactly what we do each and every week. We prepare the same way. We're going to put out what we think is the best 11. We're going to field the best 20, and we're going to, go after trying to win the game here at home. And then, like you said, the window will happen, and we'll take a break, and we'll be ready to go when it resumes.
John Glennon on Zoom.
Jay, I know you touched earlier on the goal of 50 goals, and not to jinx you, but certainly appears like you're well on your way to hitting that. Just wonder, obviously some of it there's been some new personnel, but maybe tactically, are there one or two things that you can kind of point to, kind of broad picture themes that have resulted in the total the way it is right now?
No, I think our whole mindset is as coaches and as a staff, is to put the players in position to showcase their strengths and have them feel comfortable with the clarity in the roles and responsibilities that they have, that they can express themselves. And I think what you've been able to see is a collective group of guys, and not only who starts, but who's been called up to play in different roles throughout the season, is to try to set each guy up to showcase their strengths and to be able to make an impact on the team. And I think, from there, a lot of guys on the team have stepped up and have done that.
And just apologies if you answered this earlier, but Daniel Levitz, any update on his situation going into this game?
Yeah, so Dan is basically day-to-day right now. A lot of it is due to, I would just say, pain tolerance, necessarily than like re-injury. So coming off of the field just now, we'll reassess it before we're able to name the 20.